All right, welcome in YouTube. So we got the rules announced, and so many of y'all are asking in my DMs or in conversations, hey, what should I be putting on for season 6? And so we're gonna get into that with the rules. Let me try to be a little thorough. Um, so just going over the global buffs, right? So we have symbiotes are counted as superior 6 and sinister 6. It's gonna be a lot more helpful on the offense than the defense. If you're going to run Superior 6 on defense, you're probably still going to run full Superior 6. Sorry to break it to you, but if you're going to run them on offense, they're going to be a lot better to split. The ones that actually gain the most from this is actually your Sinister 6 tombs. So your Shocker, your Vulture, Mysterio. You're going to see those three played a lot with your Hive Mind members. Because they're gonna mix in very well. They're gonna be able to use to counter other teams. You could probably sneak the main three Hive Mind members of Red Goblin. Just for example, you're going to be able to use Red Goblin, what's his face, Void Knight, and Carnage, along with your Vulture and Mysterio to probably beat a ULX team or an Extreme team. If they have Nightcrawler on there, because you're going to go first, you're going to ability block them, you're going to zap them of all their abilities, and just go after them, right? So that's that nice little use of them. But particularly if you're going to leave like Superior 6 on defense, their kits are so intertwined that you're going to want to just run that full Superior 6 on defense. And we'll get into that when we talk about each room. And like last time, Superior 6 does remove Revive, does remove those counters, and so they're going to be very good at killing those teams. Okay? So moving on to room 1. So I'm going to give you 3 options, right? So you're either playing very turtle, you're either playing what we call offense heavy. So if you're think about it, right? If you're in slot 1 to 4 of your TCP of your bracket, you probably want to lean more to the turtle side. If you're lower on that bracket, right? If you're slot 8, you really have to think offensive heavy. You have to play, and then I'm going to show you what my defense is going to look like. So first of all, for this one, you're going to want to put your ULX or your extreme team in here with that Gambit to be just a pain. Um, yes, you can put your Sinister Six. Yes, you can put SD in here, but they're used elsewhere, and they're going to be better used in one of the bigger rooms. This season's going to reflect around 3 and 4. Those are going to be where the bottlenecks, the defensive meta is going to be, and this is that extra. This is just that room that it's a nice thing to have, but necessarily do that game breaker. It's not going to change the game, right? Your big rooms are 3 and 4, and so you're going to put a great team in here, but you're not going to put that. If you're on a budget, right, this is where you're going to put your Gamma, your Darkhold, your Gamma Dorm in here, just to spread them thin. If you have something small, right, you can put an Infestation here. You can put a lot of teams if they can survive through that first turn. If they get hit and don't die, this is a great spot to put them. So I'm going to leave Gamma and Darkhold as your budget options, right? So if you're still building out your roster, right, you want to keep Dorm on something else. You want to keep those powers over there. But your big turtles, right, you're going to put your ULX or your extreme team in here. Okay, so in 2, this is almost a nothing room, right? So you're going to put Darkhold, Quicksilver. This room is designed for the next the new team, right? They kind of hinted at it without even knowing the rest of their kits. This just seems like the out of time team is going to end up here on defense long term. But for now, we're just going to stick your Darkhold, Quicksilver, your Dorm Hold. Something in here that just is big, that just takes up a lot of turns. It's probably Mystic. If you need a budget option, right? If you have a big Black Order, if you have a Bifrost, you can toss them in here. They're probably not going to do a whole lot for you. They're not going to be your wins, but they're just going to take advantage of that room a little bit. You can also, again, your iWatch is a catch-all. Your Black Order is going to be a catch-all team right now. You just stick those in here and hope that they draw something good. But for now, you're primarily going to see Darkholds in here, your Dorm Holds, your Darkhold with Loki, Darkhold with Emma, you know. So, but this room just doesn't seem like it's going to be that powerful. You could toss in Weaver, but they just don't do well on defense. There's so many counters for them that they just work so much better on offense. So, again, I just don't see this room as being that impactful. And who knows? This new team may not even be that impactful in this room. They might be an offensive team, though Captain America and Peggy just already lean towards that defensive side anyway. So I'm going to assume, based off of what I've heard and what I've seen, that they're going to be the ones that go end up in this room by the end of the season. But for now, again, toss your dark hold, your dorm hold. Don't stress about it. Okay. And here we got room 3. This is where you're going to start seeing those big problem child. Like, this is the room that's going to get really, really annoying really, really fast. So, first of all, Superior 6 is a very deadly team in this room. This is where Superior, if you're going to put them on defense, this is most likely where they're going to go. They spawn with Safeguard, defense up, and offense up, and that's going to be a nightmare to deal with when they're extended for 3 turns. You can't land vulnerables on them. You can't, and so you have these problems where now you're forcing APOC, you're forcing those bigger teams, right? So Superior 6 was sus. And so those are going to be the big, like, if you're going to run this, run that. Ones that get a really big boost is going to be extreme with Rogue. You have to have Rogue in there to give that safeguard to the X-Men to make them not able to flip their buffs. iWatch is a good team, right? Because iWatch was a pain in this room. So if you're going very, very offensive heavy, they're a good match here. ULX is hard to deal with in this room. Because again, last time when we had this room, if they put a ULX in here, what you would do is you would just put APOC over here. You would move APOC to this room. APOC would take away the safeguard, and you're able just to flip them with your Eternals. If you're gonna leave ULX in here, you need to make sure you're pulling something else. You're pulling that extreme, you're pulling that offensive team like that APOC into a different room. But that's typically where you're gonna put them. But you're gonna see a lot of Superior 6. You're gonna see a lot of Superior 6 with APOC. At the higher ends on the Turtles are gonna probably do that to you. The full Superior 6 is not gonna be fun to deal with in this room. Period. Point blank. This is where they go. They do not go in 5. 5 is not that great of a room rule in comparison to this. This is a nightmare waiting to happen. Superior 6 will be the room that ruins a lot of people's days in this room. Guarantee it. The next one will be Extreme, right? Extreme's going to be a pain in the butt. And then again, if you need those for offense, iWatch is a great team to put in there. It's going to pull that. It's going to pull in the Masters of Evil, right? Masters of Evil can still beat this, but man, is that not a fun fight. If you've ever done that fight sucks, right? You can still put Wakanda here, but Death Seeks can probably kill it. So I would lean towards one of those, right? So this makes iWatch an MOE level team, and you can't complain about that, right? iWatch is almost 3-year-old team, and it can pull probably one of the second best offensive tool if you put it in this room. It's a nice boost. All you have to do is move Infinity Watch into this room, and now they're forced to take in that MOE into it. Okay, all right. Moving on to the next run, we're going over to Spiritual Energy. Now, this is actually going to be more of a trap room than anything, because certain teams are not going to get to their ults fast enough, or teams that you typically expect to have their ults ready, it's going to be a problem. So for example, full Superior 6 is a new Warriors and MOE's trap, right? You're used to just using new Warriors and moving on. New Warriors will not beat full SD because Firestall will not ult turn 1. She will not ult on turn 2. Cloak and Dagger will not ult. Cloak will not ult, so you will not get that nice spread of debuffs. You will go straight into your special. You'll rewind one person. That's not going to be enough for you to win. Dagger is going to do her special. Deathpool's only has special available. You're only going to have those abilities available, and you're just not going to get enough damage out of that. You need Firestar's ult. She's probably the most important move in the entire team, and you will not have that available. You will not have Gwenpool's ult, that turn 2 where she jumps in the air. You will not have that available to you. And where SD, they're going to have their specials. They open up, all of them open with specials, and they're okay with using their basics turn 2, right? They can go in there and do their basics for that middle turn and kill people, whereas New Warriors will not have that same effect. In turn 2, you're just going to get blasted. Same with Masters of Evil. You don't have the Kang bend. You're not going to be able to open with that Kang ult on turn 2 to help clean out the board. You're going to just get ripped apart. You're going to see a big problem with Sus SD in there too because of that, right? So usually if you burn it, burn this team, then you were able to then come in, right, and then APOC ult into Sus. You no longer have APOC's ult to go into the team. You basically have an unempowered APOC. That's a problem, right? Because we all rely on that APOC empowered punch to get kills. So that is just an issue. So again, so you're going to see the SD, right? So if you're going to run sus on defense with SD, this is the room. This is where you're going to create problems, because yeah, this is where you're going to just get the problems out of it, right? I'm not going to explain it more than I just did. Just because the energy problems, right? So if you want a couple of trap teams, Darkhold and Gamma are going to go great in here for week 1, right? Just like I said, Death Sea was a good team for week 1 of last season. If you want to put Darkhold and Gamma in here, I'm all for it for that first week or two. People are going to learn their lesson after the first week, so don't keep them in there long term. But if they see a Darkhold here and they instantly think I'm going to use Tangle Web here, Tangle Web will not work against Darkhold in this room. You will have to come in there with something bigger, stronger. So same thing with New Warriors, right? Because New Warriors and MOE are entangled are severely hindered in this room more than the defense, because those teams are used to coming in there. They're glass cannons. They come in there, they do a ton of damage, and their goal is to just get kills. And they're not going to get those kills in this room with this particular buff set, right? Because they're not going to get to their big attacks till they're dead. They're not gonna. SD is gonna come around. You're gonna proc Rob. You're obviously gonna kill you all. You're gonna proc Red Hulk's jump in the air. Darkhold, they speed up. They get to their abilities a lot faster. They have that cleanse. Morgan Le Fay's gonna open up with her special instead of her ult, so they get that nasty little rewind. Things like that. So, and the biggest thing is that you won't have Weaver's ult till turn 3. By then, most of the teams you take in Tangle Web, right? You have a glass cannon team. You have that Kestrel, that Weaver, the 29-9. So 29-9 is not going to open up with his ult. He's going to open up with this special. So he can ability block the Morgan, but then you still have to deal with the Strange. You still have to deal with the Agatha. You're still going to have to deal with the Wong. And it's just assuming that you're going to put like a Quicksilver here, right? Because Quicksilver is going to come in there and he's going to just hit somebody hard. Again, it's just a trap team. It's going to get people off balance. So if you want to get a nice cheap win, Darkhold and Gamma are going to get those for you that week 1, but they probably won't get you there long term. You're going to need to go into that with that full SD, that superior that SD with Thanos and Sus. One of those. That's what's going to end up being in this room, because they're going to be a lot harder and more challenging to deal with. And even like Superior 6 is going to struggle against those comps because they don't have their ults either. And Superior 6, a lot of their ults are what help them beat SD. So SD is going to be the king of this room. So Secret Defenders are going to be it. Just calling it now. Prove me wrong as we get into the season, but I'm just calling it. Secret Defenders will rule Stage 5. Some version of that will be on everybody's defense by the end of the season, barring a new team coming out and just blowing that out of the water. Stage 5, I'm just going to treat this like an empty room. Pegasus is not a great defense. If you need a defense that's a tech team, I think Pegasus is fine as like a budget. I'm okay with Eternals blowing this up, but I'm never okay with Eternals blowing something up. That's just not a good use, right? When you can have just put in a Darkhold or a Gamma, right? We're starting into this age where Darkhold and Gamma and ULX are like these secondary teams. They're no longer the top metas, and so there's no reason to run Pegasus when you can toss in Darkhold, when you can toss in Gamma. The same way you do like Death Seed, right? Like you can put Death Seed on defense, but they're not amazing in comparison to those who are the secondary, right? Your B tier already in Crucible no longer has the Horseman teams in it. Put the Horseman on there. The Horseman teams are still good enough to be that good B tier. They're going to require a very short list of counters. Pegasus has a lot more. You're going to see if you're turtling Hive Mind hybrids here all over the place. I think that Vulture, Mysterio, and Void Knight are going to do really well together. All you need is one more Hive Mind member, whether that be Red Goblin, whether that be Carnage, right? Because then you're going to be able to get that Vulture and Mysterio passives to be working. You're going to have a whole nother big team to deal with. Again, the budget options for this. So as an empty room, if I treat this like empty room, right, you're going to throw your Eye Watch in here. Your NA Fury, right? So that's a good place to put them, right? They're not going to take a ton of advantage of the buffs, but they're a better defense, right? They're going to take up that New Warriors. They're going to take up that speed team. So just toss them in there, right? You need something to go in this spot. Eye Watch and New Avengers Fury they're just good catch-alls, right? They're not taking advantage of this room. They're not doing something crazy with it. they're just a solid defense. They take very specific counters. They can't just get blown up by Eternals. People have to take very specific things into them, and so they're a better defense than like Pegasus. They're a better defense than like Infestation, right? They're built tankier. They're built with more speed. They're built with better things, right? But your turtles are gonna throw some to Hive Mind in here. But again, if you need a budget option, there you go. Okay. So room 6, this is basically like last time. You got your health insurance. So you got your turtles are going to run ULX Storm. They're going to run Extreme. The reason why is because as Superior 6 goes, as that MOE goes, right? MOE relies heavily on that offense up to kill Extreme. So you're going to see a lot of Extremes on defense in this room. Yeah. In this particular room, right? Where it says offense on here, what I mean is if you're offense heavy, this is where you're going to toss Extreme, right, to the base level. And I'm going to show my defense in a second as we get to the end of this. I run a more offensive heavy set, so we're almost done with these rooms. But just to kind of go over that, right, I'm just catching those typos. It's driving me nuts. But I'm not going to re-record this. We're already 17 minutes in. But I would go back and fix that S on the top. That I should say offensive teams. That's funny. Okay, so again, I'm going to say ULX Storm, ULX Extreme are going to be the rooms that go in here. If you're on a budget like me, I'm going to toss in Gamma Dorm in here. A good option would be Infinity Watch. Darkhold's a good one in here. Anybody, the bigger thing is you got to think about is if they're bringing an MOE into this room, they are severely hindered on the amount of damage they have. So for example, when you take in a Gamma Dorm, they can no longer just beat it with straight MOE. They need like a MOE Doom to beat this because now they need more speed. They need to take those 3 turns with Doom to get enough firepower, enough oomph to kill the Gamma. So you're getting some value out of that, right? So that's just a good example. Or, you know, if they're using Superior 6 into your Gamma Dorm, whatever, you don't care. Like, that's fine. Yes, people are going to trick into that, pulling in that one Sinister 6 member to do that, get it done. That will happen. But just say kind of an opener of the season. Here's some of my thoughts. Here's what I'm doing, right? Obviously, it will change over time. As the season progresses, we'll have new teams to counter. Right now, we don't have full hive mind. Okay, and so next thing is I'm gonna kind of just show what a defense like mine would look like. Right, this is my final product, but this is what just after a day of thinking about it, what I'm gonna be doing. So I'm gonna unhide that. I'm gonna go ahead and hide this, and so for me, for if I was to start the day, like if the season was starting tomorrow and I only had this much time to think about it, what I would have is I would have ULX with Phoenix in 1. I'd probably change the placement a little bit, but just like Gambit gets knocked low, he's gonna do those hits. I'm probably gonna just hope that Phoenix causes that stun. Oh, there's my wife. Okay, and then I'm gonna keep moving this around because my phone wants to shut off. Okay. And then in room 2, right, I'm shooting like almost a blank room. I'm gonna go ahead and just show a Darkhold in here, right? They're gonna need to use Tangle Web here. Tangle Web's gonna kill it. Moving on, we're not gonna talk much about that. I'm gonna toss in Eye Watch with just a full Eye Watch. Actually gonna pull Quicksilver off this team and probably put him somewhere else. The reason why I would want full Infinity Watch, I'm not gonna do it today, is because I don't want to have to redo it on my main team. Room 4, I'm going to run full SD, right? I'm going to run a more offensive heavy team, right? Again, trap play. You can't use New Warriors, can't use MOE. Trying to pull that Superior 6 causes a lot of frustration, right? Because if without New Warriors or MOE to really kill this, you have a big problem in this room. And again, you don't need a whole lot out of it, right? Because you now have this full team. Yeah, you're just gonna run into problems like that. You don't have your New Warriors, you don't have your MOE, you don't really have Eternals either. So I'm trying to think about how to handle this. You might have to second again. Our Superior 6 is gonna win this, but you know, if that's the only place they got to use it. Gamma Dorm in 5, right? Gamma Dorm is just one of those what we call like a staple It's better than most of the defenses. This is not a fantastic defense, but it's not going to pull a whole lot. I have a thinner roster, so I do not have NA Fury to toss in there. I just have that available. And then Extreme in 6, right? As I said, they're going to want to come in here with MOE and blow it up, and they just don't have the offense up. They can come in here with Hive Mind, with Superior 6, like the combo I just talked about, and blow it up. Then that's fine. That it is what it is. Those type of teams are going to just be very difficult to deal with. Yeah, so that's my initial thoughts. That's me kind of breaking it down, just looking at it um, for the season. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe to my YouTube. Getting closer to that. Just broke 500 on my subscribers and trying to just keep growing. Right, break that 1,000. But anyway, if this video helped you, okay, please like and subscribe.